Today is Monday, May 2nd, 2016. This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and the title of this rant will be Trump and Hillary, the fight of the century. So possibly for the rest of this century, we will not have a match similar to this one. Not necessarily in terms of the fact that it's a man and a woman and two white people. I mean, maybe we would have, let's just say, a person of color who is transgender in another election coming up. But as of right now, this will be the highest contrast that we will see for two reasons. Number one is that Trump is so unconventional. He's so, what's that other term, asymmetric, that we have absolutely no idea where he's going to come from. And his particular pattern of gaining acceptance, gaining relevance, gaining support has been specifically through a true con job, bullying, and really berating his opponents. And he is nonstop in this. And it will continue. And he has plenty of fertile ground with Hillary, let's put it that way. And if we look at it in terms of a fight, Trump is going to be all in your face all the time. But the thing is, how many people are really going to be buying into his charade, his snake oil salesmanship? And the number of, let's just say, constituents, voters who will be turned off by that. And that seems to be an astronomically high number. And how can he, between now and the election, 5 months, be able to reverse that and to be victorious? Not only, in terms of the number of votes that are cast, but in terms of which states can he win? Because the way the polling is going right now is that he is losing what used to be referred to as the typical battleground states, and he's almost gotten to the point where there were typical red states that may now be battleground states. And if we look at Hillary, who may have, let's just say, plenty of flaws, just like any other human being, a number of negatives. I just talked to two people this week, and one particular person indicated, that Hillary has so many negatives that she can't get by. And I'm just going, these are trumped up negatives. Hillary will never be indicted. There was never anything about Benghazi. There was never really anything about the email scandal. It's been trumped up. Notice how I used that word. It has been the right-wing scheme machine has been relentless in those two things. They're still raising money off the fact that Hillary may be indicted and we still need to investigate her. Trey Gowdy, in his Benghazi hearing, is trying to find someone who actually called into Sean Hannity's show, months ago, a year ago, and said something that they want to check out. Now, talk about conspiracy theories. And if they have to go that deep, that far down to try and find something against Hillary, as opposed to all of the relevant stuff, all of the separate congressional hearings, again with General Petraeus, who said there was nothing about Benghazi, etc. I don't want to go into that too much, but Hillary has been defined. She has been, they have attacked her and attacked her and attacked her for the last quarter century. She is extremely resilient. She will always be coming back. She's a great counterpuncher. And it will be a classic battle. Now, my humble opinion is that the people of the United States will see through everything that Trump is talking about and see that he really does not have any depth of knowledge in a lot of these things in terms of the things. It's great to talk about the wall, but how are you going to handle immigration reform completely? It's great to say we don't need to raise the minimum wage, but why don't you need to raise the minimum wage? And how can you effectively help people who are only making the minimum wage have some type of a living that they can actually pay for? taxes on the rich, the estate taxes, global climate change, gun safety laws. He has not a clue as to how to do that. And everything that he will come out of his mouth will be an exceptional amount of bluster, of innuendo, and his playing Hillary as being that she would not even get 5% of the vote if she were a man is really smacking all women. And it's sort of funny because it appears as if what he is playing is the angry white man card, that the white men should still be running this whole place. And how dare this white chick, this lady, who we've been crucifying for the last 25 years, dare to try and run to be president. But it's funny, all of those men that he is after, have wives, children, wives, daughters, mothers, who are not going to be happy with any of these things that go on. And if Trump really sees what's going on, he's going to have to do a lot more work in the states that were battleground states that are now favoring Hillary, and states that were traditionally red that could actually be battleground states. He's going to have to go to them, and he's going to have to appeal to them. And of course, if he's going to continue to appeal by going further and further to the right via Cruz, that ain't going to work. So we have a true fight of the century, a classic battle of an in-your-face, narcissistic bully who clamors for airtime, who will say, it's interesting. I watch him, which I don't like to do very often, but when I do watch him, you can actually tell when he's actually thinking about the answer and is thinking on the top of his head, because he really doesn't know the answer, and he's trying to come up with something. And that's what's happening, is he's making this stuff up as he goes along. And I can only see it getting worse and worse, because if he should be looking past the nomination process now, he should be looking at the general election and seeing that his negatives are much higher than Hillary's, and that everything that he is saying right now is going to work against him in the general election, and how he has to pivot, and pivot very, very strongly. Now, in terms of Hillary, she's just going to fight. She's going to fight for the average working person. She's going to counterpunch, and she's going to counterpunch, and she is also going to be relentless. And I have full faith that the American people will side with Hillary. But for Hillary or anyone on her team to think that this could possibly be a cakewalk with all of the negatives that's coming out on Trump, that ain't going to happen. It could end up being a lot closer than we think.